Every bag, every box, every lead you peeled off and tossed without thinking, it goes somewhere. And somewhere is this.
If you knew that a company was using compostable packaging, would you be more likely to choose them?
Yes, absolutely. But because I think it means that they're taking steps to go in the right direction for society.
Same order, different box, and somehow you felt like you have saved the world.
Okay, real talk. Thank God for compostable packaging. We order in 3 times a week to start with, a coffee in every single morning. And honestly, we kind of live out of these little containers now. The whole time, somewhere in the back of our heads, there was this quiet little guilt that we never actually do anything about. The plastic, the waste, and the landfills. And then the little green leaf shows up. Compostable, plant-based, returns back to the soil. And just like that, the guilt lifts. We can keep ordering because the cup quietly turns back into the soil, right? Problem solved. We can finally relax. Except that right there, that's the actual problem. Because that heat of relief from the green leaf, it didn't make you create less waste. It made you stop thinking about it. And here's the uncomfortable bit. Your guilt was the only thing keeping you careful, and that green label quietly switched it off. So the most dangerous packaging in India isn't the kind that makes you feel guilty, it's the kind that makes you feel good. So today, just one question. Is compostable packaging actually saving us, or did it just sell a clean conscience and quietly do nothing? Here's a hint. The cup you composted last week, there is very good chance is sitting in the landfill right now, exactly like the plastic it replaced. On this channel, we don't just tell you something's green, we dig it, we find it, and see if it actually works and whether it works for India. So let's get into it. First, let's measure the scale of this thing. Every single day in India, Swiggy and Zomato deliver around 2 million orders. And on New Year's Eve 2025, they smashed the record. 7.5 million orders in one single night for over 63 lakh customers. Now, picture that. 7.5 million cups, spoons, food packaging generated the exact same evening, where half the country's resolution was to use less plastic this year. And after 2022 plastic ban, almost all of it got the same eco glow up, the green leaf, compostable. Suddenly, your biryani box is out here saving the planet. India's bioplastic market blew past 4,000 crores in 2025, and it's still climbing, riding an e-commerce wave that on its own threw off about 1.2 million tons of plastic every single year. And here's my favorite part. You are going to love this. We don't just accept the green packaging, we happily pay extra for it. About 20 to 25% extra. Just sit with that for a second. We are paying extra for a feeling. Except, here's the catch. Compostable isn't something the cup is. It's something the cup might do. If and only if it reaches an industrial composting factory. And India's stock of those, how do I put this gently? Basically zero. The magic kitchen where your cup turns into the soil never got invented. So, we didn't actually cut the waste. We just gave it a glow up. Same trash mountains, except we charged ourselves more for it, drew a little leaf on it, felt amazing, and couriered it straight back to the exact same landfill. The switch was very real. The extra money, real. The disappearing of garbage, total fiction. But here's the twist. The green savior didn't just pop up in 2022. The tech behind it is weirdly, suspiciously old. So how on earth did we get here? Because it starts with 1930s chemists and a car made of soybeans. Quick gut check. Go on and guess when the plastic made from plants was invented. Last decade? With the eco startups, right? Not even close. Try 1932. A chemist named Wallace Carthoris at DuPont first synthesized PLA, the exact same bioplastic in the half compostable cups you'll hold today. Almost a century ago. Henry Ford even built a car with a plant-based plastic body all the way back in 1941. So, is the technology that old? Why did we drown in the plastic for 70 years? Simple. Oil was dirt cheap. Bioplastic just lost. They got dusted off after the 1970 oil crisis and crept back commercially in 80s and 90s, just sitting right there for a reason to come back. And in India, that reason wasn't the planet at all. It was politics. On the 1st of July 2022, India banned 19 single-use plastic items. Straws, cutleries, cups, even the fillings around your sweet boxes. Huge deal. But buried inside was one sentence that changed the entire industry. Certified compostable plastic, the ISO 17088 stuff, was exempt. Totally legal. Now, imagine for a second that this is you. You own a company and that ban just wiped out your entire plastic cutlery business overnight. You are losing crores. Then you spot the one thing still legal with a shiny green halo on it. That's your escape hatch. So, of course, you sprint through it. That single exemption turned a 90-year-old chemistry experiment into a full-blown gold rush. Not because anyone suddenly started caring about the planet, but because it was the only thing still allowed. On paper, a perfect story. There is just one tiny problem. Nobody actually bothered to check. Does the stuff even actually work? And before we can answer that, you need to know what these words really mean. Because almost everything you think you know might be wrong. 4 little words, and the industry really wants you to believe that they mean all the same thing. Compostable, biodegradable, oxo-degradable, and bio-based. Well, they don't. 3 of the 4 words are basically lying to your face. So let's line them up, and for each one, let's ask the one question that actually matters. Where does it end up? Suspect number 1, compostable, the only honest one in this whole lineup. By the law, it has to be certified to ISO 17088, and its promise is real. Breakdown into CO2, water, biomass, leaving no toxic residue behind. And this is the whole trick. The ending is conditional. Only inside an industrial composter at 55 to 60 degrees for roughly 12 weeks does it become soil. Anywhere else, your landfills, your backyards, the ocean, it just sits there behaving exactly like plastic. PLA dumped in seawater showed basically zero breakdown after 428 days. So it's ending in either soil or plastic, and in India, almost always the second. Suspect number 2, biodegradable. Yes, the weasel word. For years, all of it meant was that microbes could break it down eventually. No rules on how long, under what conditions, or what gets left behind. A banana is biodegradable, so is a car tire, given a century. Its ending is genuinely undefined, no standard at all, so something stamped just biodegradable can't even be composted. It's headed straight for the landfill, taking decades, leaving who knows what behind. For years, in India, anyone could slap this word on literally anything. A proper tested category only finally showed up in 2024. The Plastic Waste Management Rules 2024, notified by Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change on 14th March. For the first reason, it actually defined what biodegradable plastic is. It has to break down through biological processes in a named environment, soil, landfill, water, without leaving any microplastics or toxic residue. It carved out for a whole new category just for it. It demanded CPCB certificate for sale, and label has to spell out biodegradable in X days only in soil, landfill, water, and before that, the word meant actually nothing at all. Suspect number 3, oxo-degradable. This one isn't bending the truth. It's straight up a magic trick. It's an ordinary fossil fuel plastic with an additive that does make it biodegradable. What it actually does is make the plastic shatter into smaller and smaller fragments until you simply can't see them anymore. Microplastics. And those fragments, they don't vanish. They end up in soil, water, and in us. These are the same microplastic scientists found in human brains back in 2024, roughly 7 grams, about the weight of a plastic spoon, and around 50% more than just 8 years earlier. They've also turned up in blood, placentas, and even in testes. So, oxo-degradable doesn't make plastic disappear, it just makes the evidence too small to see. The European Union didn't even bother regulating it. They banned it outright in 2021. Doesn't properly biodegrade, creates microplastics, and no proven benefit. Suspect 4, bio-based. The classic misdirection. It only tells you where the thing comes from. Plants. It tells you absolutely nothing about where it goes. You can make a bottle from corn that's chemically identical to a normal plastic bottle, plant-based on the front, fossil fuel ending in the real life. Centuries in landfill. It's a lovely story about the beginning and promises nothing about the end. So, out of 4 words, only one even promises to turn back into the earth, and even that comes with a giant asterisk. Only inside a factory we actually don't have. Still sounds like good news, right? We found the honest one. Let's just buy that. Done. Right? Yeah, about that, because we have fallen for a green promise exactly like this one before. A word you trust even more than compostable. A word you have believed your entire life. Recyclable.
Recycling. What you can and can't recycle.
So, why do these words work on us so easily? Because we have been trained for decades to trust labels just like them. Even though when European Union actually went and audited environmental claims, more than half, 53% turned out to be vague, misleading or unfounded, and 40% completely unsustained. And the most trusted green one of all, well, you already know, recyclable. You see recyclable and your brain instantly pictures a perfect loop. A bottle becomes bottle forever. Here's the truth that quietly breaks that picture. Plastic can only be recycled about 2 to 3 times before the quality degrades too far to use. Every single cycle, the molecular chains getting shorter and shorter. Compare that to glass and aluminum, recyclable basically forever. Plastic, it just can't. So plastic isn't a loop at all. It's a staircase going down. Bottle to a lower grade product and to landfill. And here's the real kicker. Globally, only about 9% of all the plastics ever made has actually been recycled. Recyclable was never a promise that it would be recycled. It's just that it could be. So here's the twist that will make you proud at one thing. India is genuinely no asterisk world champion. PET bottles. We collect and recycle about 90 to 95% of them. One of the highest rates on the entire planet. While the US and UK often sit below 30%. And here's the beautiful part. This isn't the government's win, it's people's. India's informal sectors, the rag pickers and the kabadiwalas you walk past every single day, handle up to 80% of the plastic waste collection in the country. An invisible army built the best bottle recycling system in the world. Genuinely full respect. So, we have cracked it. Not quite. Because where do these bottles actually end up? For years, mostly not back into the bottles, they got downcycled into polyester fiber for clothes. Your water bottle becomes a t-shirt, which then can't become anything. Bottom of the staircase, worn for a while, and then landfill, down the same black hole. And now here's the update. And this one is real, genuine progress. Bottle to bottle is finally legal and actually happening in India. After FSSAI approved recycled PET for food contact, Coca-Cola launched India's first 100% recycled PET bottle. Since April 2025, every new PET bottle has to contain at least 30% recycled plastic. On paper, the staircase is finally bending into a loop. But here's the honest catch. Closed loop. Bottle back into the bottle is still only about 27% of the recycled PET India uses. The rest ends up in t-shirts and packaging because most of our plants are built for textiles, not food grade. So the loop exists now, it's just not where most of your bottles go yet. So here's the green dream we have been sold. You toss the compostable cup, it quietly turns back into the soil. Everyone goes home happy. The dream dies in 2 places. Call them the label and the bin. And trust me, the bin is where it gets genuinely dark. Gap number 1. The label. Remember our visual word, biodegradable? Because it was barely regulated in India for years, shelves quietly filled out with the eco products that never certified and sometimes just flat out lying. The green leaf become a sticker you slap on and charge 25% more. And the genuine article is rare. Out of thousands of brands loudly shouting compostable, only a small handful have actually completed CPCB certification and made to the official list. So before the science even gets a chance to matter, a lot of what you are buying may not be what it claims to be. But okay, let's say yours is a real certified genuine thing. Now you hit the gap 2, and the gap 2, brutal bins. Certified compostable plastic, the PLA in your cup does not break down in your dustbin or your garden or your little compost bin at home. It needs a proper industrial composting facility, 55 to 60 degrees Celsius, carefully control moisture and oxygen for the weeks to end. Under the actual standard, it has to disintegrate 90% within the 12 weeks. Those are factory conditions. Take them away and PLA behaves exactly like the plastic sitting in a landfill for years, even decades. Compostable with no composting is just the plastic with a better marketing term. Now I know exactly what you're thinking, but India has composting plants. I've literally seen them. By 2023, India had over 2,200 centralized waste to compost plants. So why didn't it just work? Two reasons. One, those plants are built for wet waste. Kitchen scrap, vegetable peels, garden trimmings. They are not designed for compostable plastic, which is totally a different beast. Two, and honestly, this one's almost funny, on a fast-moving sorting line, a worker genuinely can't tell your compostable PLA cup from an ordinary plastic cup. They look identical. So just to be safe, they pull anything plastic looking out and bin it. And the whole system is already drowning as it is. By CPCB's own data, only about a quarter of India's 4,000 plus waste processing plants actually run on full capacity. And wet and dry waste get mixed together at the source anyway. So your certified premium, beautifully intentioned green container gets mixed, rejected and buried right next to the very plastic it was meant to replace. And here, buried deep in the landfill is where the real twist lands. A landfill is anaerobic. No oxygen, no light. Plain plastic mostly just sits there, inert and boring. But organic compostable material rotting away without oxygen, it does something very different. It releases methane. And methane is not some minor harmless gas. It's roughly 28 times more powerful than CO2 at warming the planet over a century, and about 80 times over a 20-year window. And this matters enormously here in India, where 50 to 60% of household waste is organic. Bury that in a plastic bags and congratulations, you have basically built yourself a methane factory. In India alone, landfills already leak something on the order of 1 million tons of methane a year, and waste sector makes up about 1/5 of the country's total methane. So really sit with this for 1 second. In a landfill specifically, that green compostable container can have actually a worse short-term climate impact than the plastic it replaced. Same material, wrong ending. The very thing we bought to feel better might be quietly making the part of the problem worse. And the microplastics, oxo-degradable, that magic trick plastic that just shatters, is still being sold to you as eco, quietly feeding the exact same particles we found in a human brains a minute ago. But here's the part that should even keep certified crowd up at night. A 2025 study found that even certified compostable plastics can shed tiny microplastics during composting. Because the standard don't actually require 100% breakdown, the science is still catching up to the marketing. Which leads us straight to the obvious question. If the whole mess landed on your desk tomorrow, what would you actually first fix? Hold that thought, because the answer is a way more surprising than you'd expect. And the people who have got it right did it in an order almost nobody guesses. Okay, here's the thing you genuinely can't unsee once you have seen it. Why do recycling and composting both fail in India for the exact same reason? It's not the material, it's the model. Both of them depend on shipping your waste somewhere far away. You have to collect it, sort it correctly, transport it, and you have working facility waiting at the other end. 4 places to collapse. And in India, it collapses at almost everyone. So, what if you just deleted that whole journey entirely? What if it broke down right where you threw it, at the source? No truck, no sorting time, no factory that was never built. You skip all the 4 points of failure in one single move. And this isn't the theory. 2 places have already proved it. Sounds like a dream, right? South Korea. South Korea took food waste recycling from nearly 2% in 1995 to around 95% today. And they did it by fixing a system at the source, charge people for what they threw out, ban food waste from landfills, and then make separation mandatory with smart bins. Economics first, product last. It took them 3 whole decades, but today it's world leading. And then, much closer to home, Indore. India's cleanest city 8 years running and our first zero landfill city, processing nearly all of its 1,900 tons a day, recovering around 95%. How? Compulsory segregation at the source into 6 separate bins and burning all the wet waste into compost and bio-CNG. And remember, this isn't the South Korea, this is Madhya Pradesh. So it can't work in India is officially retired. Basically, it already does, right here in Indore. But building an Indore everywhere takes years, decades. So here's the flip. What if the packaging itself broke down at the source? Your bin, your backyard, your water, even in your plate. Because believe it or not, that material already exists. Here's the genuine funny part. India didn't even need to invent any of this. We already did. Thousands of years ago, the banana leaf, the areca leaf, the sal leaf dona, eat off, toss it, gone. Back to soil in days. Then we decided the plastic was modern. Threw all that away and now we are paying startups crores to reinvent it. Is being smart the new dumb? 3 kinds of packaging genuinely break down at the source and all 3 exist today. Much of it might be right here at home. Tier 1. Naturally compostable fiber, sugarcane waste called bagasse, pressed into plates, areca leaf. This break down in a home compost bin. No industrial heat needed at all. Indian companies like Kudrat have been making 100% compostable tableware since 3 to 5 years. And it on the shelves right now. Tier 2. Packaging that literally dissolves. A Bangalore founder built a carry bag out of a natural starch, potato and vegetable oils. It looks exactly like the plastic, but drop it in room temperature water and it dissolves in a day. Boiling water 15 seconds. And if littered, it can biodegrade in 180 days. All tested and cleared by Karnataka Pollution Board. Tier 3. And this is the truly wild one. Edible packaging. A Hyderabad startup, Bakeries, make cutlery out of rice and wheat. So you can literally eat your spoon, or if you don't, it decomposes in under a week versus what 500 years a plastic spoon takes. The disposal problem just disappears because there is nothing left to dispose of. Now, these aren't magic. Let's be honest with each other. The dissolvable bag costs about 35% more than plastic. Edible cutlery is still mostly a novelty. Fiber struggles with oil, watery food, and newer material like PHA, which break down even in the ocean, are still expensive at scale. So material innovation genuinely does fix the source problem, but then it slams straight into the wall. This whole episode keeps circling back to money. A leaf plate costs more than plastic. Compost is basically given for free. So if the green option is pricier and the reward is nearly nothing, who exactly is supposed to pay for it? Let's follow the money. What is your garbage actually worth? Every green option keeps hitting the same wall. Costs more, reward seems like nothing. So let's just ask it straight. Is there actually any money in your garbage? There are 2 different parts to this. Part 1, compost. And here's the brutal truth about compost. On its own, it's almost worthless. It has to compete with dirt cheap chemical fertilizer and it loses every time. India knew this. So back in 2016, it created a subsidiary, 1500 rupees a ton, just to make the city compost cheap enough for the farmers to bother with. Did it work? Barely. Years in, less than 5% of cities' organic compost was actually composted, and the government released only about a third of the money it promised. Lesson 1. Paying people to make compost with no buyer waiting at the other end collapses. Part 2 completely flips it. Your waste can become energy. In Indore, wet waste literally runs the city buses as bio-CNG. These plants are expensive to build, sure, but they earn strong long-term returns because everyone always needs fuel. Zoom right out, and India's waste to wealth push could be worth on the order of $1 trillion and create almost 10 million jobs by 2050. Your garbage isn't worthless. We just have been measuring it in the wrong currency. And before you go trusting out on any of this on the paper, let me tell you exactly why you shouldn't. India built a genuinely clever market for recycling. Companies that put plastic waste out in the world have to buy EPR certificates, proving it got recycled. Elegant, right? Until the Center of Science and Environment found that 7 lakh fake certificates, 38 times the industry's actual recycling capacity. In Karnataka, one factory issued certificates for 3.48 lakh tons while it wasn't even operational. They were recycling from a plant that never ran. So, does incentivizing green packaging actually help? Only if you do the exact opposite of the compost subsidy and that fake certificates market. Don't pay people to make the green thing and don't build a market they can quietly fake. Instead, create real demand for what it becomes. And the proof that it works comes ironically from plastic itself. When India mandated that bottles must contain recycled content, it didn't subsidize the recyclers, it created the demand for the recycled material. And almost overnight, a 15,000 crore rupee market for recycled PET appeared. Pull, not push. And this is the exact moment where environment and economy finally stop being enemies. Every single ton of waste turned into fuel or compost is the ton that isn't rotting in a landfill, making methane. The climate win and the money win becomes the very same move. The bean stops being a cost you pay just to make things disappear and becomes a resource you actually get paid to use. Get the economics right and the environment just comes along for free. So we have gone all the way down the rabbit hole together. What compostable packaging actually is, where it really ends up, and why loop doesn't close. What could genuinely fix it and what it's all worth. Now let's pull it all together. So, is compostable packaging the new plastic? Here's our verdict. Not by nature, by neglect. The chemistry is real, the material genuinely can turn back into the soil. But it becomes the new plastic the very moment we sell it into the country where nowhere to compost it and a label nobody ever bothered to check. And if you take just one single thing away from all of this, make it this. Every single place that actually solved this, South Korea, Indore, fixed the system first. The compostable cup was never the hero of the story. The bin behind it was. And weirdly, that's the good news. India already has the proof, setting right inside its own borders. Do an Indore everywhere, segregate at the source, turn waste into compost and fuel, and the price is enormous. Less methane, real value pulled out of your own garbage, and compostable finally meaning something instead of being just the sticker. The tech is from 1930s. Remember, what we are missing isn't the invention, it's the system. And until we build that, here's one thing you can actually do today. Next time you see compostable, flip the thing over. Look for the CPCB logo and the registration number. And if a brand won't show you its certificate, that's your red flag. Small thing, but it's how you stop paying extra to feel good and a cup that ends up in the same landfill anyway. Because that's the whole point of this channel. We don't just tell you something's green, we dig in, find it out if it actually works and whether it works for India. The planet don't need only green stickers, it needs systems that actually do the job. So the next time someone hands you a little green leaf and a clear conscience, you know exactly where to ask. If you like this video, like, share and subscribe to keep investigating.